What if? Hi, Pastor. Jesus said an interesting thing in Luke 21:12 and 13. But before all this, they will lay hands on you and persecute you. They will deliver you to synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors, and all on account of my name. This will result in your being witnesses to them. Interesting words of Jesus as he said, you're gonna get in trouble with the authorities because you worship me. Not because you're doing other things that maybe you shouldn't do, but because you worship me. That's going to be your chance. That leads to a very hilarious thing with the Apostle Paul, as he is accused of wrongdoing by the Jewish leaders. And so then they bring him before the Roman authorities and before Festus. And Festus says, "When they came here with me, I convened a court. When his accusers got up to speak, they did not charge him with any of the crimes I had expected. Instead, they had some points of dispute with him about their own religion and about a dead man named Jesus, who Paul claimed was alive." So Festus says, well, I don't see that you've broken any of our laws. And yet Paul said, well, I want to go to Caesar. This puts Festus in a bit of a bind. So when King Agrippa drops by on vacation, he says, King Agrippa, I've got a problem. I've got to send this prisoner to Caesar on appeal. But he says, I have brought him before all of you, especially before you, King Agrippa, so that as a result of this investigation, I may have something to write. For I think it is unreasonable to send on a prisoner without specifying the charges against him. And of course, King Agrippa is like, hey, I've heard of this Paul. He sounds like quite a show. And he listens to Paul. And then when it's over, he says to Festus, I got nothing to help you. And Agrippa said to Festus, this man could have been set free if he had not appealed to Caesar. What if? Paul, as a Roman citizen, didn't use his rights to get free, but to actually stay in custody. Because his goal was not his freedom, it was to preach the gospel. And he probably had read the words or had heard the words reported to him that Jesus had said, you will be arrested, this is your chance. So often we have the picture that we need to fight the authorities and defend our rights. Where Paul wanted to use his rights not to do what he wanted, but to do what Jesus had said. That your arrests and the accusations against you are a marvelous opportunity for you to be a witness. That's your chance. How would that change our sometimes defensive postures if we saw every opportunity, every even right that we have, not as something that empowers us to do what we want, but to make sure that we are utilizing every right we have to share the gospel, even if it means giving up our freedom. That's what Paul did. The end of the story is that in a later letter, Paul says, the brethren in Caesar's household greet you. There's no record that Caesar ever came to know the Lord. But because Paul was able to preach before Caesar, many who were part of Caesar's household, probably slaves, came to know Jesus, and Paul had fruit. What if that was how we thought about our circumstances? What if we, like Paul, had as our greatest motivation using any opportunity to share the gospel? What if?